also had the chance to speak one-on-one with Commissioner Nikki Fried, who believed Crist was condescending during this week's debate. Commissioner Fried, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
So the primary Democratic gubernatorial debate just wrapped up between you and Congressman Crist. Many have said that this is make or break because it could be the only debate. How do you feel about it?
You know, I feel great. Was able to, and unfortunately, this is only debate. So we had a lot to get out, and most importantly, wanted to show the viewers who I am, the things that I stand for, the things that I fight for, the things that are important to the people of our state. And having been our only statewide elected Democrat, I needed people to know what we've been doing for 3.5 years, that we've been tackling Ron DeSantis, and that I'm the only one who can actually beat Ron come November. And that's what I think we show the people of our state, that if we're actually going to beat Ron, that we need somebody who understands the policies, who can tackle every single aspect of it. So I felt that we accomplished exactly what we wanted to do during this debate. I'm excited to hear the feedback from the viewers, but we made sure that we showed who I was.
You're both Democrats. What would you say differentiates you the most?
Look, I've been a Democrat my entire life. Charlie hasn't. You know, most of his career has been as a Republican, and the issues that we are tackling today are a leftover of things that he did when he was a Republican, including that we have the chief judge of the Florida Supreme Court that Charlie appointed when he was governor. That is the same person who did not have a hearing on the Black congressional district maps. It's the same person who's going to be part of overturning our right to privacy. So the greatest difference is that Charlie has a past that unfortunately is exactly opposite of what Democrats are looking for today. You know, supporting the NRA, getting money from the NRA, putting the NRA executive director into the Women's Hall of Fame. That is not compassion. That is what Charlie Crist has done, taking money out of the Affordable Trust Fund, making sure that he protected a traditional marriage and stood up against any rights that LGBTQ families had back when he was Attorney General and as governor. That is not what Democrats need. Democrats need right now is a fighter, someone who's been standing on their side my entire life, and that is the greatest differences.
We covered a lot of territory at the debate. We covered the environment, we covered inflation, we covered abortion. What would you say is the biggest issue facing Floridians that when they go to the polls for the primary and then again in November, they are going to be voting on?
Look, for the primary, the #1 issue that I'm hearing from Democrats all across the state, we have to beat Ron DeSantis. Everything else that we talk about, every other issue that Democrats are fighting for and dealing with, all of that doesn't matter if we can't win. And unfortunately, that's Charlie's problem. He has been on the ballot and has lost. And that's what Democrats need to focus on. As somebody who's been able to win our state as a Democrat, I'm our only choice. And that is what is important. Come November, people need to be looking at who's going to protect my freedoms, who's going to make sure that somebody is here who's going to lower my cost of living while also raising my standards. That is what we present. And so come November, the people of our state are going to be looking at who's going to make sure that we are providing an environment that is going to be sustainable, an economy that works for everybody, an education system that is actually lifting up voices and lifting up people. So it's two separate conversations. For the primary, Democrats are looking for a fighter and for a winner. And come November, people are looking for who is going to protect me and make sure that my lifestyle is something that I am proud of and something that's going to uplift democracy and access.
There are some that are saying that the party is getting divided right now between you and the congressman, and because he's up in the polls, in some of the polls, they say that perhaps you should drop out. How do you respond to that?
I laugh because that's not even the case. The only polls that matter are the ones on Election Day. We've got the momentum, we've got the excitement, and if Charlie can't deal with me during the primary, there is no way that he can deal with Ron DeSantis afterwards. So there is one choice, and that is to put me as our Democratic nominee. So I asked for Charlie to drop out. You know, he's lost this so many times. We don't have the time. We don't have the time or the patience to chance that maybe he can win. I have our best shot of taking on Ron. I've been doing it for 3.5 years.
And finally, the congressman has said that he will endorse you if you win the primary. Would you do the same for the congressman?
Look, we have to beat Ron. Ron is the greatest threat to democracy that we have seen in our generation. And I'm sorry that Charlie had to be so condescending in order to make his points tonight at the debate. I will do everything in my power to make sure that we are electing Democrats up and down the ballot, and I will do everything strength that I have, the compassion to work hard to make sure that we beat Ron DeSantis.
Commissioner, thank you as always for joining us.
Thanks for having me.